back to my channel. My name is Shamika and this is Check the Rhymes. I'm super hyped that you're here. If this is your first time, make sure you hit subscribe, tap the bell icon. Make sure you also like, comment, and share, and that goes for everybody, not just the new people. And make sure you check me out at my media partner, sweet929.tv, and I do have a blog, themofochronicles.com. All right, y'all. I may seem a little bit hyper today, a little bit, like I'm talking entirely too fast. Well, because I am a candy girl, I gotta do what I gotta do. Get it? All right, if you didn't get it, I'm about to tell you who's coming to the show today. Oh my God, it's a legend, Mr. Ralph Tresvant. And the crowd goes wild. I'm super hyped because you know what, y'all? He just released a new single called All Mine featuring Johnny Gill. Two legends, one song. Y'all need to get it because it's fire. So Ralph is coming through to talk about the new single. We're going to talk about what else he's got going on. And then I'm going to bring up the fact that this year is 30 years since his debut album. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. I promise I'm going to try to control my inner fangirl and not propose marriage to this man. Pray for us, sister. Stay tuned. All right. Joining me today on Check the Rhymes is Mr. Ralph Tresvant. Welcome to Check the Rhymes. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
You don't know how, I've been nervous all day, and I don't get nervous doing interviews. I've been doing it for over 10 years, but this one had me shook.
Well, we good. I got you. We straight. Nervous about it.
I am a longtime fan. Every time you have been to Charlotte, North Carolina, I have been in the building. So I am a huge fan.
Thank you. Thank you for all the love. I appreciate that.
So we got to jump right into this because I've had this song on repeat since you dropped it. All Mine featuring Johnny Gill. Tell me how that came together and why now? Why release new music now?
It's getting too old. That's why. I said I better get back out here before it gets to I can't do it no more or something. The song came about a song that was actually turned in for Johnny Gill. It was sent to him for his album, and he heard the song and said it sounds like that. It sounds like his brother. So he called me up. He told me he had something he wanted to hear. He wanted me to hear. He thought it would be perfect for it. So he sent it to me. I listened to the song. A few days later, I was over at his house recording it. We recorded at his home studio. A few days after that, I heard it back with him on it as a duet, and I just felt like we had captured that, the way our voices work together. We had captured that. We just did a song, come off the song Perfect.
Right.
That was his album. And that combination worked again for us on that. The song did its thing. So when I heard this one, I said, it sounds like a continuation of that same vibe. And while it's doing good out here and people are familiar with it again, let's keep it going. So we ended up dropping it as the single. And that's pretty much what it all was. I heard All Mine, fell in love with it. Everybody I played it for, they was like, oh, this song is nice, man. This is a good one for you guys. We kept saying that it felt like what we felt like it was a nice bridge between then and now, where it still had a currentness to it, but it didn't lose the integrity of who we are and who I am. And overall, wasn't trying to chase being new or being young, so it just kind of had an organic vibe to it. It works now, and so that's what we kept hearing. Say, okay, let's go with this one. And
that's what I was going to ask, if you felt like you had to conform to today's standards, because I mean, y'all are legends. Like, I don't think you need to. So I didn't know if that had played a factor at all. But I think that you captured it exactly the way that you meant to. It works. Like, it'll appeal to, I'm always blaming millennials and whatever, Gen Z and everything else for stuff. But I'm like, it appeals to everybody. So I think y'all did a good job of capturing that.
Thank you. That was the intention, was try to not sound like we're trying to be, chase what they're doing now too much to the point where we lose what we stand for, what we already do. So my idea of that was the All Mine, not the production style of it fit both worlds to me. So it was a good look.
Now, if y'all had come out with trap music, I'd have been like, Ralph.
I did the same thing. Yeah, I've heard it. I've tried it. I've been in the studio and cutting all kind of stuff just to see what I sound like on. I was like, oh my God, my career is over.
So does this mean we might get a new album soon?
Absolutely. finishing it up now. I'm working with Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis.
Oh, good.
Tracks from Babyface. There's some stuff from we're getting ready to go on to work with Tim Kelly from Tim and Bob. All Mine is getting ready to be remixed by Ninth Wonder.
Wow.
So stuff
Come
going
on, North Carolina.
I've been a fan of his forever, and a mutual friend of mine's, Vel Morton, put us on the phone like a few days ago.
Wow.
And he was just telling me, man, I got to do something with that song, man. I'll do it on GP, man. Only word, just get me the track, get me the session. I would love to do so. He obviously hears something that he wants to do with it. So I told him how much of a fan I am of his stuff.
Uh-huh.
And so we're in the process of getting him that right now, while we're working on the rest of the album, trying to finish it up so that at the peak of this, hopefully we'll be able to we'll launch it right at the top of All Mine. So that's the intention. We'll see somewhere in the fall, hopefully.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know that for me, I know you took a bit of I want to say a hiatus as a solo artist, because, I know you were touring with New Edition, and doing that type of thing. But in my house, you get play every day. This is my workout album right here. 30 years ago. I was just doing my walking home DVD to the songs on this album yesterday. So every day, this is my workout album.
That face expression. What was that face expression on that album? I don't know what that was giving you. Oh my God.
That's that. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm finna get y'all. Finna hurt y'all with it. Yeah, that's that look. I don't know.
Wait. Hold on one second. What else? I have something else to show you. I can't find the case, but I got this too. I told you I was a fan, Ralph. I told you.
That picture was from the Who's the Match album. I was wild.
Yes.
That's great.
But I wanted to talk about a couple of the stories behind some of the songs on this album, because this is one of my favorite albums. And if you were right here, I'd be like, sign it. But so clearly the vinyl, it means something.
Let's do exactly. I miss vinyl. Well, let's do it. What's happening?
All right. Okay. I'm just going to throw out some songs and you tell me, anything you want us to know about it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's see. I'm going to go with one of my favorites on here. She's My Love Thing.
Oh my goodness. She's My Love Thing. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. I remember being in the studio with those guys recording that. When that song came on, I just got elated. I was like, oh my God, listen to this track. Let's be in the samples from Eddie Kendrick. All this stuff going on. And I was like, oh, this is going to be crazy. You know what's funny about that song? Is the first time I had the chance to sit down and play some of the songs off the album for the rest of the group members. I think it was BBD. I don't think Johnny was there with BBD and them. I played them Sensitivity. Oh my God, oh my goodness, this song's man. That's so you, man. You sound great. This, that, and the other.
Right.
And I kept wanting them to hear that one. Yeah, but you got to hear this song right here with these samples and that stuff in it. And I played them that song. It was like,
what?
Yeah, that's cool. I like that one, but play that other one again, man. Play that song. I kept going back to it like that. I was like, y'all ain't feeling this one? It's cold. It's like that's cool, but they wasn't all the way like I was feeling that song right there. So I'm with you on She's My Love Thing was a cold track to me.
Yeah, I love that one. And then I was like, because I be making up words when I'm singing along, and I was like, the words ain't on here. Why you put the words on here, Ralph?
That was MCA Records back then. They were in the budget, I guess. I don't know.
All right. Let's see. With Rated R, you kind of got in your rap bag a little bit. Yep. So what about that song?
That song was, again, I usually was from the court. My thing was always to incorporate what I was listening to. So I had to do a rap joint. From the Candy Girl album, we was doing raps on the joint. We was introducing that R&B mix with rap and hip hop. So I just wanted to continue that, show people my flow. And so when I got in the studio at that time, I was listening to the flow on that with that Make Way for the Brother, Rising from Undercover, Super Fly for the 90s. That was I was huge on Chuck D. And
okay.
Yeah, so that's where that flow idea came from. The track allowed me to use that flow on it. I probably wouldn't have done it if it was a different type of track, but that particular track allowed me to use that flow that I had been influenced by Chuck D. So when I got in the studio, that just came out as the flow. It's like, yeah, And so I remember sitting down at an award show or something, and Queen Latifah, she hit me up. She had heard that song. She's like, man, that rated R, you was flowing on that bad boy. She said, you actually one of those cats that can actually rap and sing. I was like, I appreciate that from, it was big hearing from Queen, because she was like, obviously, one of the greatest female rappers that ever hit the game. So when she was saying that, I was like, I appreciate that. But I remember her liking that song and feeling like, okay, there's some real hip hop being expressed on this record where, I could tell people really dug the flow. So
I mean, this for me, this is an album. I mean, of course, with vinyl, you got to stop and flip it over, but this is an album I can listen to nonstop. And so one of the songs that I also really love is Love Hurts.
Love Hurts. Wow, that was Daryl and KO. That was out of the LA and Babyface camp. And I sung that song. I was going to the studio with those guys at midnight.
Wow.
Yeah, I was driving across country. I wasn't flying at this point, so I was in a Black Maxima with me and my Uncle Briston. We was driving from LA to Minneapolis, from Minneapolis down to Atlanta. Back to Minneapolis. I remember driving down there, and all the sessions was late at night, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. So when that song came to the it was one of those, I just felt like the song was expressive,
Yeah.
A passion and feeling to it. So they pulled that out. That was written by Daryl and KO. Yep, Daryl Simmons and KO. They wrote that joint, and it worked. It worked for me.
And then, of course, Stone Cold Gentleman. That's. I just finished listening to that right before we jumped on here.
That was the same crew. That was Daryl and KO. That was LA and Babyface. And I remember when we was first working on it. That what comes to mind when that song comes on is, I remember that the track that I actually sang to in the studio ended up being completely different. I was in the studio with Daryl and KO most of the time, and Face would come in from time to time, peep what we was doing, and go back out and be working on these other projects. And one day, after I was done back home, they sent the song, and the bass line, the beat, everything was completely different from what I had sang to.
Wow.
So it ended up being what you heard, or what you hear now. But it was a whole nother track that I sang that song to, which was cool in itself. But when I heard that version, I was like, whoa, they took this to a whole nother level right now. So
yeah.
Stone Cold Gentleman. And it's another one song that they wrote that about me. That wasn't something I said, I want to be the Stone Cold Gentleman when I go. I just being myself around them, and those songs that came out, it was like this seemed to fit me.
Okay. Sorry, this little pop-up just popped. There we go. Okay. I just have a couple more questions because I know you probably have other things to do, but I need you to settle something for me. All right. So me and my homie, and I used to work in a TV newsroom, TV station in the newsroom. And when the New Edition movie came out, we were watching it in the newsroom, which, hopefully my old boss isn't, but we were watching it instead of paying attention to what else was going on. But he kept telling me that it is your vocals on Bobby Brown's Every Little Step. And I was like, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. That's been almost 3 years ago. We still fighting over this.
I heard this before, and I don't think it is. I did do a demo for it. When that song was actually supposed to be a song that New Edition was going to record. And for some reason, it was at the end of the album. Well, I guess the record company figured, well, we got enough records, let's just round it up. But I think I did go in and probably did some vocals on it. Background-wise, I never did any lead. I don't know, and maybe they left some of that on there now, but I don't think so. In my honest opinion, it was all re-sang over again.
Right.
I don't believe that's me on there at all.
Okay, so you hear that, Trey? I'm right. You heard it from Ralph.
Right, Trey.
So jumping real quick, right back to the, saying that this was it's 30 years later this year, I think, for this debut album, but this wasn't the original debut album you were going to come out with.
Sure wasn't.
Are we ever going to hear it? It was called Living in a Dream?
Yeah, that was the name of it. Self-written with with a good friend of mine named Dwayne Omar. We had put that together. Cornell Brown was going to be a part of it with us to help us push it out there. But now I don't even know where the masters are. I haven't heard the album in so many years, but prior to doing the New Edition Heartbreak album, that was the album that I was working on as my first solo project. And I loved that album. I mean, I really was crazy about that album. I couldn't wait for the world to hear it.
Uh-huh.
Here we are 30 years later, nobody's still ever heard it. And I haven't heard it probably in about 30 years, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Masters was at my mother's house, and when she passed, I went back to the house and they were gone. I've never seen them.
Oh man.
I don't know what happened to that project.
Well, this is a great debut though.
Right, it worked. But the thing is, it was so different from what I was going to do. It ended up being a great project. Like
yeah.
I collaborated with on the album were just phenomenal people and writers and producers that it just came about. But the original project was me with the two dancers. I had the whole vibe. Bobby was about to come with damn that. And
oh wow.
he ended up coming with that whole look, the swing I was on, and him and Teddy ended up using and all that stuff. That was stuff that was on my album. And it was a cold piece though. I can't front. I think it would have changed my life as a solo artist had I released the project. Mm-hmm.
Okay, wow. Well, hopefully maybe they'll resurface sometime. Like I don't know if you know the story of Sam Cooke's brother, L.C. Cooke. I interviewed him before he died. You know, his debut and the only album he didn't resurface until he was around 80 years old, years after Sam Cooke died, because he was the one that produced it. And you know,
that's not the case. I sure hope I'm here if it does surface it now so I can hear my
yeah. So he was still alive when it surfaced, so he was able to put it out.
Hey, so that's good stuff.
So I was like, don't give up hope. It might show up.
That's a good look. Well, hopefully it does, because I really love that project, and it would be something to just hear some of that unreleased stuff for myself, or let people hear what I was about to do. That would be a great project, you know.
Absolutely. So anything else we can expect from you while you're waiting on the new music or the new album? Are you going to put out any other singles?
Yeah, that maybe. Depends on how long it takes to get the album done, or how long all mine, you know, moves around. I don't want to try to put something out that would squash the movement that we have right now. I'm just going to wait for the peaks, and as I feel it's peaking, then if we're ready with the album, we'll come with it. If not, we'll drop another single, keep the momentum going. We should be that far off from dropping the album right either with it or the second single or right behind that. So that's the plan right now. And to drop this video for All Mine, we finish that up, get that out there so it can help support the song. It came out pretty good. It reminds me of kind of the approach was to do a 2020 sensitivity kind of vibe. You know, that was my intent with this. So trying to upgrade that vibe and do what I did on that, which is pretty much what I do anyways when I do videos.
Okay. When can we expect that to drop? Or can you tell us?
Probably this week. Probably the end of this week, it should be ready to go.
All right, cool. Awesome. And then you'll have to promise me to come back to Check the Rhymes TV to talk about the album when it drops.
Absolutely. You just let me know when.
All right. Thank you for joining me today on Check the Rhymes TV. Ralph Tresvant, new single out, All Mine with Johnny Gill. Yes. And the new video will be out soon as well. Yep. And you know what? I'm just thank you for doing this. I'm still like I'm fangirling inside trying to control it.
It's all mine. You let me know. Oh, no pun intended. The pleasure really is all mine.